Welcome to another episode of my Azeroth Archives series where we find in-game lore books in World of Warcraft. Today we are going after the 5th book, which is titled The Kaldorei and the Well of Eternity. This book can be found in 4 locations. The first location is in the Caverns of Time in Tanaris. You can get here by using the portal in your major city or of course just flying to Tanaris. Once you're inside the cavern, make your way down the spiral, and not far down you will find this cave-looking entrance with an NPC named Alexton Chrome, and you can see under his name it says Tavern of Time. The book is located in this room on the floor. The second location is in the Stormwind Library in the Stormwind Keep. When you go inside, it's directly on your right on this pillar beside this Stormwind Royal Guard. The next location is in the Legion Broken Isles version of Dalaran in the portrait room where the pillars of creation are displayed. Then as you come in, go to the left and you'll see it sitting on a table by some couches. This one actually lets you loot the book into your inventory for a temporary duration. The final location is in the classic era of Wetlands pre-Cataclysm in the Deepwater Tavern Inn. It's on the 2nd floor sitting on this table. And now for our favorite part, let's read the book. Today we'll be using the Caverns of Time location since I thought it was very fitting with the Well of Eternity dungeon also being in the Caverns of Time. The Kaldorei and the Well of Eternity. 10,000 years before the orcs and humans clashed in their first war, the world of Azeroth cradled only one massive continent surrounded by the infinite raging seas. That landmass, known as Kalimdor, was home to a number of disparate races and creatures, all vying for survival amongst the savage elements of the waking world. At the Dark Continent's center was a mysterious lake of incandescent energies. The lake, which would later be called the Well of Eternity, was the true heart of the world's magic and natural power. Drawing its energies from the infinite great dark beyond the world, the well acted as a mystical fount, sending its potent energies out across the world to nourish life in all its wondrous forms. In time, a primitive tribe of nocturnal humanoids cautiously made their way to the edges of the mesmerizing, enchanted lake. The feral nomadic humanoids, drawn by the well's strange energies, built crude homes upon its tranquil shores. Over time, the well's cosmic power affected the strange tribe, making them strong, wise, and virtually immortal. The tribe adopted the name Kaldorei, which meant children of the stars in their native tongue. To celebrate their budding society, they constructed great structures and temples around the lake's periphery. The Kaldorei, or Night Elves as they would later be known, worshipped the moon goddess Elune and believed that she slept within the well's shimmering depths during the daylight hours. The early Night Elf priests and seers studied the well with an insatiable curiosity, driven to plumb its untold secrets and power. As their society grew, the Night Elves explored the breadth of Kalimdor and encountered its myriad denizens. The only creatures that gave them pause were the ancient and powerful dragons. Though the great serpentine beasts were often reclusive, they did much to safeguard the known lands from potential threats. The Night Elves believed that the dragons held themselves to be the protectors of the world, in that they and their secrets were best left alone. In time, the Night Elves' curiosity led them to meet and befriend a number of powerful entities, not the least of which was Cenarius, a mighty demigod of the primordial forest lands. The great-hearted Cenarius grew fond of the inquisitive Night Elves and spent a great deal of time teaching them about the natural world. The tranquil Kaldorei developed a strong empathy for the living forests of Kalimdor and reveled in the harmonious balance of nature. Yet, as the seemingly endless ages passed, the Night Elves' civilization expanded both territorially and culturally. Their temples, roads, and dwelling places stretched across the breadth of the Dark Continent. Ashara, the Night Elves' beautiful and gifted queen, built an immense, wondrous palace on the well's shore that housed her favored servitors within its bejeweled halls. Her servitors, whom she called the Kaldorei, or Highborn, doted on her every command and believed themselves to be greater than the rest of their lower caste brethren. Though Queen Azshara was loved equally by all of her people, the Highborn were secretly hated by the jealous masses. Sharing the priest's curiosity towards the Well of Eternity, Azshara ordered the educated Highborn to plumb its secrets and reveal its true purpose in the world. The Highborn buried themselves in their work and studied the well ceaselessly. In time, they developed the ability to manipulate and control the well's cosmic energies. As their reckless experiments progressed, the Highborn found that they could use their newfound powers to either create or destroy at their leisure. The hapless Highborn had stumbled upon primitive magic and were now resolved to devote themselves to its mastery. Although they agreed that magic was inherently dangerous if handled irresponsibly, Azshara and her Highborn began to practice their spellcraft with reckless abandon. Tanaris and many of the wizened Night Elf scholars warned that only calamity would result from toying with the clearly volatile arts of magic. But Azshara and her followers stubbornly continued to expand their burgeoning powers. As their powers grew, a distinct change came over Azshara and the Highborn. The haughty, aloof upper class became increasingly callous and cruel towards their fellow Night Elves. A dark, brooding pall veiled Azshara's once entrancing beauty. She began to withdraw from her loving subjects and refused to interact with any but her trusted Highborn priests. A young brazen scholar named Furion Stormrage, who had spent much of his time studying the well's effects, began to suspect that a terrible power was corrupting the Highborn and his beloved queen. Though he could not conceive the evil that was to come, he knew that the Night Elves' lives would soon be changed forever. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed the reading of The Kaldorei and the Well of Eternity. If you did and want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time where we'll be checking out the book The War of the Ancients.